all, this guy is a firm believer that vegetables are bad for you.
And he's like, oh, vegetables, they have defense mechanisms and...
What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. We got a special one today. Sorry, I am still sick, so if I have to cough every now and again and clear my throat, you know why, but I'm getting much better. Don't have me tea this time. I know in the last video you saw that. If you haven't watched that, go watch that right now before watching this. I mean, they don't really relate, but just go watch it anyway. But today, Burly Boy Fitness, have been called out by the Mr.
OEYFRANCESS.
And you're probably wondering, well, who the hell is this guy? Well, this guy is my uncle. Mr. Joey Francis, with his famous 17 followers. He is a certified life, love, and relationship coach. I've actually seen him. He has 2 online certificates for life, love, and relationship coaching. He showed me them on his phone, guys. I can assure you, behind closed doors, he has 2 online love, life, and relationship, whatever, certificates, authentication, whatever. It says Joey Francis on it. The bro is an expert on this stuff. So he made a video, podcast episode 9. Be nice to yourself because you are always listening. And you already know your boy's featured in the video. Such an honor from the Mr. Joey Francis himself. So we're reacting to it today. I've already watched the video, and I got some shit to say, so let's get right into it.
That positive daily affirmations can work. They have been proven to provide people with some change in their life. When you're staring at yourself in the mirror because of how good you look, you're reinforcing that idea of how good you look, just like a daily affirmation would. Now, so many of us do not do these things.
Oh, I do a shit ton of that, but every day in the shower, you see me like...
But here's the thing. Just as much as a daily affirmation works, so does a negative one. So does one that if we continuously say to ourselves, calling ourselves bad names, or degrading ourselves for whatever reason, if you say it enough, it becomes true. And if something negative becomes true, it tends to put a boundary on our lives. It tends to stop us from doing certain things. If you continuously look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm ugly, I'm stupid, I'm fat, I'm short.
So here's the thing. If you're under 5'8" as a man, sorry, you can believe it. If you're tall as much as you want, you're freaking short. And also, if you're over 25% body fat as a man, you can believe as much as you like that you're ripped and shredded, but you're fat.
Over and over again, you're gonna start believing them.
Well, you better believe it. If you're a manlet like me, who's 5'5", I'm a freaking short king. Can't change that. I can believe. Get out the measuring tape. Frick, I'm 6 foot. Yay, I can say that all I want. But I'm really 5'5", which means I'm a short king. And to the same extent, if you're freaking 30% body fat and obese, you can say you're C-bum lean all you want with your guitar obliques. But reality is, you're not. You're fat as shit.
The whole reason that I'm bringing this up this week is because a viewer of mine...
That's me, by the way.
...commented on one of my videos, and I do believe it was the Know What You're Looking For video. And he said that he is a proud 5'5" manlet. Now listen, I understand. A lot of women don't like short guys. I get it. But here's the thing. You're calling yourself a manlet. You're already degrading yourself. And you can be proud. That's fantastic. I'm happy that you're proud of your height. But you're degrading yourself. Now see, here's the thing. I had a conversation with this gentleman.
Okay, why did I call myself a manlet in his comment section? Well, if we look back at that video where I commented, he was actually talking about how men should not lie about their height. So I thought, hey, I'm gonna make a little comment and say I'm a 5'5" manlet and I'm proud of it.
Let's be honest, gentlemen. If you're listening to this, stop lying about your height. I get it. It sucks. Women like tall guys.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm just being brutally honest.
To be honest with you, I didn't even know what manlet meant. And if you don't know what manlet means, think of pig and piglet. You know, piglet is a small pig, or a baby pig. So a manlet is essentially a small man. And I guess short men are calling themselves this these days for some reason. I don't know. Again, disagree with this whole thing. But I talked to him, and he said to me that he does it to take the power away from other people making fun of him.
Okay, now I'm gonna be a little bit serious. So back when I was a lot younger, anyway, when I was in like elementary school, we're talking like grade 2 and 3 or whatever, I was always the short king. I was always the shortest in my class, and it was used to be. It's not anymore, but it used to be. I was very insecure about being, you know, I was always so short. I was really insecure about it, but I got over that. And do you know how I got over that? In my opinion, anyway, if you're short as shit, but you're jacked AF, and you're shredded, and you got a good physique, that makes up for you being a manlet. Now, he disagrees with the whole manlet statement, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But, let's see what the definition of a manlet really is. Manlet. A manlet is a slang term referred to a man who is shorter than average, typically under 5'8". Wow, that's exactly what I said. And do you know how I know this guy went to ChatGPT as well? Because it says piglet here, so kudos to him. It originated in internet culture, especially in forums like Reddit or 4chan, and is sometimes used in gym bro communities and can often carry an insecure or overcompensation or bitterness about height. Now you're probably saying, well, that's not very nice to call yourself that, but here's the thing. When I'm making my videos like I'm doing right now, I mean, now that I'm saying this, this kind of throws this whole thing out of the water. Do you notice that every now and again in my title I say 16-year-old idiot, manlet, whatever? Why do you think that is? It's because that's probably what you're thinking at home. When you watch my videos, let's be honest, you're probably an adult, so you're like, I'm not gonna believe what this 16-year-old manlet kid's saying on YouTube, so I'm almost playing a character. I'm making myself out to be the character that you, the viewer at home, believe that I am. And I think that's worked pretty well. It's funny, and I almost feel like it makes people want to watch me more, because if I was claiming to be this super serious channel and, you know, this and that, if I didn't say, oh, I'm probably wrong because I'm a freaking 16-year-old manlet idiot, whatever, then you're probably going to get pissed off that I'm disagreeing with you. But when I say that, it lightens the load when you're wrong.
But you're commenting on a YouTube video, a podcast, and you're calling yourself a manlet. Nobody made fun of you.
Again, I called myself the manlet there because it was brought up in the video. I'll play the clip.
Let's be honest, gentlemen. If you're listening to this, stop lying about your height.
Just thought it would be funny because my character in my YouTube videos is I'm a manlet. It's kind of on my branding now. So, I mean, eventually, maybe if I get older, right now I'm only 16-year-old idiot. Maybe when I'm an 18-year-old idiot, maybe I won't be a manlet anymore. And then I can't call myself that. But for the time being, I'm a manlet.
And if this is your course of action, what if I called you stupid? Are you then a 5'5" stupid manlet? What if I called you out of shape? And the specific reason that I say out of shape because the gentleman who commented on my video actually has his own YouTube channel and he very much focuses on fitness life and the whole fitness industry and fitness world. So what if I said to him, you're out of shape?
You're lying.
You're weak. You're small. Are you going to start calling yourself a 5'5", weak, non-muscular, small, stupid manlet?
Well, you could make an argument that in regular gym culture or whatever, I don't think I'm particularly strong now. For the average person, I do think I'm strong, but if you compared me to average gym goers, I don't think I'm very strong anyway. A 185 bench is nothing ridiculous, and in terms of me being small, yes, I am a small human. 139 pounds is not a very large man. Hate to break it to you, so I'm just being freaking honest. You want me to lie and say I'm a behemoth and I'm 6 foot tall? No! Be honest.
I feel that is quite ridiculous.
And again, when I call myself a manlet here or a 16-year-old idiot, I'm portraying a character that the viewer is most likely making me out to be. And by doing that, I feel like it engages them more and it can attract an audience better because it's also funny and it's like, well, this kid's not totally serious, whatever, he's just making YouTube videos for the fun of it.
Going to be able to take everything away from people, or at least what they're going to say to you or make fun of you or call you. And rather than doing that, how about we be proud of who we are, love ourselves first, so that when people do have things to say that are not very nice and that are negative, it makes no difference because we don't care about the opinion of those people who don't matter.
When I say I'm a manlet, I think that's broadcasting to the world that I don't care if you call me short. It doesn't freaking bother me anymore. It used to be a very big insecurity, but it doesn't anymore. I got over that, and I think it's funny, makes for good YouTube content.
People who do care about you and may have constructive criticism towards you, chances are they're going to provide you with an idea of a solution, or maybe why you might have this problem. Those are the people you want to listen to. Again, you don't even necessarily have to take their advice, or listen to them for that matter, but at least what they're saying is coming from a place of love.
See, here's my only problem with, advice being taken from family members or whatever like that, like what he's saying. Is a lot of the time family members will suck up to each other, or if you're like best friends with someone, you're not going to be brutally honest. They may ask you, do I look fat in this dress? You might be like, no, it doesn't look that bad. It's your wife or whatever. You don't want to make fun of her or whatever. But if you ask some rando or someone, you want to listen to people who are going to be brutally honest. And you know what? The truth hurts. It sucks, but do you want to just listen to a bunch of yes men? No, you want to know the truth. What's actually happening, not some made up bullshit in your head.
Rather than being a 5'5" manlet, how about you just be a 5'5" man?
I don't make the rules. ChatGPT said a manlet under 5'8". I don't make the rules. I just play the game.
Good for them. Doesn't matter. If you don't like it, there's the door. And that's how we all should be about all things. If somebody doesn't appreciate us and like us for who we are, then it shouldn't matter. But more importantly, we should love and appreciate ourselves for who we are. That's the most important thing. Now, if by any chance you're watching this, and I don't have very many of you that do,
I would love for you to go to his channel, Burly Boy Fitness, and on any single one of his videos, just comment, you are not a manlet.
By doing that, you're literally lying. Sorry, I hate to break it to you, you're literally lying. You're lying. That's like going to someone's YouTube channel where they're 50% body fat and very obese and saying you're not fat. You're lying. You're blatantly lying.
I'm trying to teach these people, the younger generation, that you don't need to succumb to other people's ideas. Because here's the other thing. What makes a person short? Who decides at what height you are short?
It's called your genetics and your parents. And of course, we don't get to choose our parents. So this is what you get. Whatever you get, be grateful for what you have, because this is what you're stuck with.
What if you're 4'10"? Then someone that's 5'5" is pretty tall.
Yeah, they're tall to the person who's 4'10", but in retrospect or relative to the average height of a man, they are both short kings and or manlets.
Using the word tall, not short. So it's all based on perspective. Also, what part of the world are you from? Different parts of the world, people are at different heights. So there's no reason for you to make fun of yourself, to start embedding this idea that you're a manlet. Because here's the thing, as you get older, as you continuously call yourself this and get older, you might start becoming interested in women, or men for that matter. And they're going to say, I want a man. I want a man. And you're going to think to yourself, oh, that's too bad because I'm just a manlet. I guess they won't be interested in me.
Height is definitely one of the most important factors in getting a girl. Sorry, hate to break it to you, but personality, it's not. Yeah, it matters, but it matters when the woman across from the bar is like, whoa, that guy's a really hot, tall dude, okay? And then after they get together and they sleep a couple nights, then 3 months later, the girl finds out, whoa, this guy's got a shitty personality and dumps him. But in order to, have the affair at all, the guy needs to be attractive, okay? And what's attractive? Well, in my opinion, height, very important. How much money you make, also very important. Your overall looks, like how your face looks. Your voice also matters. If you sound like the parrot from Aladdin, well, it's not as good as if you got a deeper voice, in my opinion, as a man. And also, physique. Are you fat as shit? Well, you're not as attractive as if you're lean and you got some muscle.
Don't talk negative, because we are always listening. And the more you say this, the more it will embed our self-conscious, the more we will believe it.
And here's another problem. He goes, we need to always talk good about ourselves. What if we did something stupid? Should we talk good about ourselves about that? Or what if I'm 50% body fat? Should I just lie and be like, no, I don't have to get a better diet or start exercising. No, I'm good right now. I'm all good. No, you should probably look at yourself in the mirror and think, damn, I really let myself go. I'm fat as shit. Maybe I should change my ways and become better. But if we just keep saying, oh no, I'm perfect, this and that, then we're not going to change for the better. I can't control my height. That sucks. But I got over it. But if you're fat, you can control that. You can change that. Yes, genetics play a role and it's easier for others, but it's calories in, calories out. And that's pretty much the end of his spiel on his Mr.
Joeyfrance.
Again, this is my uncle, but there's some shit that he also says that was not mentioned in the video that I would love to share with you all. First of all, this guy's a firm believer that vegetables are bad for you.
And he's like, oh, vegetables, they have defense mechanisms.
And technically, he's not wrong. Kudos to him for doing his research. But here's the catch. There's always a catch with this stuff. It's the dosage of those toxins or whatever that are in the vegetables. Now, let's take water, for example. I would think water's healthy. We actually need it to survive. But if we drink too much, it's not that good. So, theoretically, if you had so many vegetables, first off, if you had this amount of vegetables, you would die from your stomach exploding before you died from the toxins in the vegetables, because it all comes down to dosage. Sorry for the jump. I'm actually recording this segment of the video on another day because the audio got messed up. So I'm going to give you another analogy. Let's say, I would think most people think anyway, going outside is healthy. We need the sun for vitamin D and so on. But the sun is also a class 1 carcinogen. Definitely, we know for sure the sun is a nuclear bomb that causes cancer, but we still go outside and we say it's good for you. Why? Because it is, up to a certain point. Just like anything in life. The other example I used was water, whereas we need it to survive, but if you have too much, you could die. So technically, yes, the same thing applies to vegetables, but like I said before, you would die of your stomach exploding before you died from the toxins of these vegetables. And guess what? Our body is literally designed to be able to filter out those toxins. Do you know why we have the liver and the kidneys? Do you know what their function is? It is to do precisely that. And do you know another thing? I would say salmon is quite good for you, but do you know what it also has? It also contains mercury, which if you consume it in ridiculously high doses, is not that good. But salmon is still healthy despite having mercury. And he's also a big preacher of, oh, you know, fruits are good and vegetables are bad because the vegetables have these toxins. Well, guess what? Fruits have their own kind of toxins too, so it doesn't even make sense. Next thing that he says that this is only the things I can remember from my brain, because obviously behind closed doors we see each other. He thinks that pineapple is some god food that, like, just magically makes you lose body fat. Someone tell him that correlation doesn't equal causation. So he basically thinks that if you just eat pineapple, you actually burn more calories than consuming it or whatever. He thinks that if you eat pineapple, it just causes you to melt body fat. So if you just ate so much pineapple, you just lose all this weight. So if you were in a calorie surplus eating pineapples, you'd still lose weight. It doesn't work like that. Now, the studies that he's quoting or whatever, you have to think. So let's use our freaking brains for a minute. So correlation doesn't equal causation. And in the studies, these people decided they ate more pineapple and they ended up losing weight. So what do you think is more likely? The fact that pineapple is a very low calorie dense food, and when you eat more of it, you fill up your stomach, it makes you more full, and you get more leptin, which makes you full again. So you get full on a lot less calories, causing you to be in a deficit, which results in weight loss? Or do you think pineapple's some Harry Potter Hogwarts food that just magically disobeys the laws of thermodynamics?
In this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics!
And calories in, calories out, that makes you just piss out fat. I could go on forever about this guy. This is my uncle. He made a video about me, and I'm making a response video. He's obviously going to be watching this. I know he believes a lot of nonsense bullshit about food and nutrition, and he doesn't actually go into that on his podcast, but I just thought I'd bring it up because, you know, he's my uncle. So I gotta try and, again, like he was saying in his video, you know, I'm giving him criticism, but it's constructive criticism for the better well-being of him or whatever, because he believes a lot of stuff. He also he also believes in, like, fasting and shit like that. Holy shit, he thinks that's the key to weight loss? No. Okay, now I gotta friggin' talk about this. Do you seriously think that it's the fasting or the fact that you're skipping a meal which results you being in a calorie deficit? Or do you think it's just, no, there's this magic window of you can't eat until 12 o'clock at lunch, and that's, man, then you're gonna lose a lot of weight? No, it doesn't work like that. Man, I know this guy likes to go on the internet and just find random studies and believing them, but newsflash, not everything online is freaking real.
Right to remain entertained.
Alright, that's my spiel, guys. Let me know if you guys want another episode on this. I mean, you probably don't because you don't really care about the stuff that's going on in my inner circle or whatever, but I do. I tell him all this shit all the time, but he ain't even budging. But thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. I know he's obviously watching this, but Thank you so much for watching.